p.m. Eastern. All right. So we got Kanan's story. Now, Kanan's story starts off when we see Javon, aka Mr. Bird, and he's dipping out from the cops. But this is kind of iconic because we realize that Kanan has already told them, realize what streets we are going on. So when the police do pull up, we are able to make a diversion, hit that left, hit that right, make two lefts, and then go right again, and then you'll be back to where we need you to be. But what we're trying to do is shake the police. So if you go down the alley, and we all know that if you hit an alley, just like when you seen in Boys in the Hood, they hit the alley, but unfortunately they went separate ways. Now they should have continued to go the same way because one thing that they couldn't do is drive down these alleys. Now, if you go back and watch Boys in the Hood, when Ricky got shot, little Chris was in a wheelchair. So Doughboy and them hop in the vehicle. Little Chris is in a wheelchair and he rides all the way over there. So when Ricky gets shot, if you look down the alley, you'll see a whole bunch of people witnessing it. That's just because it's just the audience watching them actually record the movie. But you see little Chris coming down the alley in a wheelchair. Now they end up putting him in the car, and then little Chris doesn't get in the car. Little Chris has to what? Ride back to the crib. So you never want to split up, especially if you're getting chased. If you're getting chased, you want to stay together. One, because of safety in numbers, and two, because if you get split up, you just never know what the hell is really going to happen. Also, if niggas pull up on you in the alley, never run straight. That's how Ricky got hit in the back. Now, what we seen Javon doing is he hit the corners. He was doing exactly what Kanan was saying. But he was too arrogant. He was looking back, making sure that the cops weren't following him. Now, if you did what Kanan said and you hit the alleys, then you wouldn't have to look behind you because you would already know that the police vehicle is too big to go down these alleys. Now, when he comes out into the main intersection, he ends up getting hit, which leads us to 626 saying it was actually 2409 that hit him. That's this vehicle over here. I just called out 2407 because this is the one the passenger got out and arrested him. Well, this person got out of this, but Javon ends up getting locked up. Now we know that it was 143rd precinct that's the one that actually arrested him. So when he gets up here, Kanan, he has to call Uncle Lulu. Uncle Lulu is a legend at this point because he's driving the Acura Legend. Now this is probably like a 92, 90, maybe the 93 because this is 92 and you know every vehicle, if it's a 92, then that means the 93 vehicle is out. The next year is always coming out the year that it is. So he probably has a 92 or 91 Aqua Legend two-door. I always wanted that, but I ended up getting me a four-door Aqua Legend. 1995, the last year that they were made. Forest green. I ended up getting it painted blue. Now he shows up and he's asking Kanan, "Hey Kanan, what the hell's going on, bro?" And Kanan's like, "Man, my homeboy got jammed up." So with his homeboy getting jammed up, Lulu was like, "Man, I don't know, man. This sounds like some fishy shit." But Kanan's like, "Nah, I can guarantee you, that it ain't no fishy shit. It's actually my homeboy. He ain't got no family, so I need you to come in here and get him out." Now, this is typical shit here. If you ever been locked up, you know is if you call your homeboy, "Hey, I don't want my mom to know that I got locked up. Hey, can you come pay this?" Or you'll tell them, "Hey, come up here." Because you know when you get arrested, 9 times out of 10, you can either give your jewelry, you can give your wallet, you can give that to whoever's with you. So the times I've been locked up, I have gave my wallet to certain people so they can actually bail me out. Like, hey, go ahead and pull 500, 1,500 from my account so you can go ahead and get me out of jail. Now, when I was locked up in Amsterdam, there was no money that you can pull out. They released me to the embassy. It took a couple of days, but they released me to the embassy. Now, there was one time I did get jumped. I want to say I got jumped in 2004, maybe the year after I got out of school. So I got jumped. So on my back, my lower right back, I do have a bruise. It's a black mark on the lower right back because I did get jumped. So when I got jumped, this is when they stole my Flint 13s and they stole my Jason Richardson Golden State jersey. So I got kicked in my face. So I got kicked on the left side of my face. A nigga kicked me with a boot because I was fighting the dude. RIP to him. Like I ain't got no issues with him or his family. So the dude I fought, I ended up beating him. That's how I ended up getting jumped. And that's when they stole my Flint 13s and they stole my Jason Richardson jersey. So I ended up getting jumped by him. They stole my shoes and they stole my jersey. So my tall tee came off. My Golden State jersey came off. So I whooped him 1-on-1. I whooped on him, and then they ended up jumping me. So they jumped me, and I started running. And then when I ran, they got me on the side of the building, and that's when I fell. So I was sitting down in like the bushes because they were like the mulch. And that's when they kicked me in my shit, and that's when they stole my so my jersey came off during the fights when my jersey came off because the dude pulled my jersey. We got to fighting. I was whooping on him. He pulled my jersey off. So that's how my jersey came off. So I continued fighting him. I had him, and then they jumped me. So once they started jumping me, I ran because they had guns. So my homeboy, it was only two of us. My homeboy, he ran because they was like, if anybody jumps in, they gonna shoot him. So I respect him for that. Like, hey man, I heard it too. So they jumped me, but they had guns. So when I ran after getting jumped, that's when they got my shoes. So they came over there, they caught me when I was running away. They threw me into the mulch. So I'm sitting on the mulch like this. I'm trying to get up, and they still trying to punch. So I'm like trying to like block myself at this point. One of the dudes kicked me in my shit with his boot. So I get kicked on the left side of my face. So when they do that, it was like kind of that right there was like kind of over with. So that's when they steal my shoes. But I'm trying to like grab my shoes and shit, but I get punched. So once they steal my shoes, they end up running off. So I lost my Flint 13s. I lost my Jason Richardson jersey that same night, but I whooped on the dude. So after that, I get up. I don't have no shirt on. I don't have no jersey on. I just got my shorts on because they stole my shoes too. So I ain't got no shoes. I just my socks. And the girls pull up, and the girls like, Mo, you need a ride. You all right? And I'm looking at the chicks. I'm like, man, fuck all y'all. Because where the fuck were y'all at when I was getting jumped by these niggas? Y'all seen it was two of us versus five of these niggas. So them niggas whooped my ass. But 1-on-1, I whooped the nigga's ass. RIP to him. He passed away now because he ended up getting killed by some niggas because he was a drug dealer, but he didn't pay them their money. So the dude I fought, I whooped him 1-on-1. So I ended up getting jumped. I lost my shoes and my jersey. But then, like, it was some chicks. They were like, damn, Mo, you was holding your own. I was like, man, fuck all that. They talking about, do you want to ride? Man, where the fuck was y'all at when I was getting jumped on? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers talking about you was holding your own. Nigga, I got my ass whooped by like 6 niggas. But that's when we go to CMSU and I seen them again. And I already told y'all about that. Like, I remember, like, in my memory, I'm good with that. I remember it was a white guy with him, and I remember everybody that was around because before the whole fight jumped off, there was one dude that I got into it with when I was in elementary, but nothing ever happened when we was like elementary. But he told the old dude, he walked by, he's like, man, still on that nigga. So I already heard that. So for me, I'm already in the defense. I'm like, all right, these niggas gonna try some shit. They're gonna try some shit. It's only like 2 or 3 of us versus like 10 of them. So we end up getting a fight, and I end up whooping on dude, and that's when he jumped me. But I end up when we seen them later on up at the college, Central Missouri State, CMSU, yeah, CMSU. When I seen them, they came over. I told my boy, like, damn, these niggas about to come over here. So before they even came over and they said anything, boom, I stole them niggas. We only got to fighting for like 30 seconds. Security broke that shit up. But them niggas ain't never do nothing else after that because when we left from that fight, we went over to the gas station. And we went to the gas station. One of my homeboys, he knew some niggas that was already beefing with them niggas. So when I went up there, they had seen me fighting these dudes. So they had told me, they're like, hey, if you need anything, let us know. So at this point, it's probably about 30 of us. It was me, like 6 of the niggas I knew, my homeboy, and then all them niggas. So them niggas never pulled up to the gas station or whatever, but it could have got ugly. But you know, that's the kind of shit that I was in. That's what I want to tell you. My sister saved my life. Cause like there may or not been some money on my head, like around 2005, 2006. But it is what it is. Cause I was into some nigga shit. But that's the shit that I was doing at like, you know what I'm saying, 17, 18 years old. So there may have been some money on my head. It wasn't much, allegedly. Allegedly it was like 5,000, you know what I'm saying? 5,000 to knock me, pause. But you know, shit, I made it out that bullshit. And I say all that to say, man, Kanan's looking out for his homeboy. And I understand where he's coming from because at 16, 17, I was like 18 when all this shit was going on. So if any of my homeboys got locked up, then it's like, hey, they gonna call me up. If I can put together some bread, then I'll make sure that they straight. Now, for the most part, you would think all these niggas need money, but no. When you're really out there in the streets like this, you'll have one or two niggas that family got some bread, so they got a little bit of insurance on them. So it's not like you really need too much money. It's just you need to cover. So you just got to cover. Hey, it's not the deposit, but you just got to cover the liability. So it's like, all right, if we get this, it's only like 250. We can get you out of jail. So that's that was going on, and that's one reason I ended up having to move because I was into it with niggas, and it really wasn't much of us. It was probably like 7 of us, but like the niggas I was into it with, I mean, I was into like whole schools. You know what I mean? It was in the same school district, but I was into it with like niggas at a whole school. So all them niggas they like team up, even though if it's different groups, they team up. Like the school I went to, I mean, we wasn't really like we wasn't too organized, but. Well, hell, half them niggas I knew they baby mamas anyway because the daycare was at our school. So I told y'all how I was. I was volunteering to go to the daycare. You go to the daycare, you act like one of the kids is yours. Shit, you get extra lunch. So I'm like, fuck it. So Kanan is looking out for his homeboys. Like, hey, listen, hey Marvin, I want to make sure that he's straight. He ain't got no family. Marvin's like, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing, Kanan, but it sounds bad. And that's how it is as you an uncle. Now, Kanan, we already then discussed what happened with him and his mama at the school. Now, Kanan is making plays. The one thing I never did was make plays at school. I did have a homeboy. I'm not gonna mention his name because he became a big time. Like one of my homeboys, like we used to go body in middle school. Pause. So body in middle school was you would go into the bathroom and you would go body, like legit body for 30 seconds. Up to a minute. And if you didn't go body, like if you didn't fight your opponent for that weekend or for that day, should I say, did you would have to have my homeboy. He our old, I won't say he's our OG. He was our age, but that nigga was strong as motherfucker. That nigga used to be in the gym because his dad had got out of jail. So his dad had him lifting weights. I'm not gonna mention his name, but that was my dog. That's like one of my best friends. But if you didn't fight the guy that was, you know what I'm saying, like so we had a little schedule. Before lunch, you would have to go body. And every day it was somebody that had to go body. If you didn't go body, you would get a frog on your arm because our homeboy, he was the one that was working out. So if you didn't go body, he got to hit you in the arm one time. So I went body with everybody. Like I didn't really care. Cause for me, it's just like, man, fuck it, nigga. It's just as long as we can't hit each other in the face, I'm like, man, you can't get hurt too bad. I mean, unless a nigga hit you in your chest and your heart stops pumping. But yeah, we used to go body every single day before lunch. So I going body, uh I was 4-1. 4-1 and going body. Now, I'm not gonna mention who the top dog was, the dude that would give you a frog if you didn't go body. So if you didn't fight, who was assigned to fight for your chance, then he would have to hit you in the arm one time. So it's like you might as well go fight. Now, the only person I ever lost to was this dude, Steven. Steven, that's my dog. Like me and him, we laugh about it all the time. This nigga Steven, he was a solid nigga. Pause. You go fight this nigga Steven, like you hitting this nigga, pause. This nigga, hey, unless you hitting him in the face, pause, then you're not gonna be able to do nothing. This nigga Steven solid. Bah, 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 bah. So we going at it. Boom. They got the stopwatch. Boom. Me and Steven going at it. Bah, 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 bah. I'm talking about, man. I'm throwing my best punch. Ah, 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 ah. Mind you, I'm in 6th grade, so I'm like 5'4", probably like 160 pounds. I'm a little short, fat dude, but I'm like, bah, bah, bah. I'm going at it with this nigga Steven. Pause. Bah, 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 bah. This nigga Steven, he like balled up. Man, this nigga cocked back one time. Bow! I don't know how it was, but my chest was wide the fuck open. That nigga hit me so goddamn hard, I stumbled into the goddamn stool. Not the stool, but the goddamn commode. Boy, when I tell you that nigga rushed me after that, bow, 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 I ain't never got my ass whooped like that in life. That nigga Steven applied so much pressure, pause, pow, pow, pow. I'm like, damn, nigga, I'm waiting for I'm like, Damn, nigga, someone called this goddamn time. Nigga, we was only at like 15 seconds. When I tell you this nigga whooped my ass for a good 15 seconds, boy, that nigga Steven was getting off, nigga. I'm over the goddamn. This nigga caught my chest wide open, nigga. I couldn't even like close up, nigga. That nigga was whooping my ass like a goddamn cartoon. I remember that shit vividly. Everybody like, damn, nigga. But I ain't fall though. So everybody like, damn, oh, you cool, nigga. When I tell you, nigga, my chest was hurting for like the next 3 days, nigga. I ain't had to fight till the next week though. Nigga, true story. I'm telling you, that nigga Steven whooped my ass. I ain't never been whooped like that before. That nigga was balled up like this the whole time. Nigga, it was only like 15 seconds. When I tell you that nigga unleashed the goddamn fury of fist, I ain't never seen no shit like that before. I like this nigga can beat OG. And we only call him OG because that nigga was stronger than all of us because he was working out. Boy, I got my ass whooped though. Man, that was some good times though. There was one time there was this dude, he was a little bit shorter than me. I ain't gonna say his name. He lived down in Miami right now. But so he was probably I was probably like 5'6", 5'7" at that point. Cause I didn't get to 6 foot till like my junior year. So this is freshman. No, this is ninth grade year. So I'm like 5'4". So he's probably like 5'3". He a little bit shorter than me though. But it was time for me and him to go at it. And he didn't want to really fight. Man, they pushed him into the circle. Bow! Cause I thought he was rushing me because I went in there first. And then I turned around. He's like, nah, man, I don't want to. They pushed that nigga in the circle. Hey, he fought back, though. I ain't gonna say that like, he just gave up like that. He fought back, but shit. That was the last time I won. And after Steven whooped my ass, man, I was like, man, I'm good, bro. Y'all seen me get my ass whooped, dog. Y'all already know I ain't cry, I ain't do none of that backing out shit. I ain't tell nobody, nigga, whoop my ass. It's over with, nigga. I'm 4-1. I retire, bro. Yeah, see, Shock know what I'm talking about. Hey, you go in that bathroom, like, man, we playing. When you go on body, it is what it is, man. You just take your L. But back then it was cool because like this is your friends that you fighting. It was just, hey, who's the toughest? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, whoop my ass. I'll never ever deny that. Even at 21, 22, we used to talk about that. We joke around, be all of us around, like, man, you remember Steven whooped your ass? Yeah, nigga, Steven got the best of me, bro. Like, wasn't nothing I can do. But right now, Kanan is trying to exert that dominance, and that's what I'm really talking about here. But there's no scrapping here. Kanan is letting them know where they got to go. And also, Raquel pulls up. But Raquel wants to know what the hell Kanan got going on. We just talked about what's really going on. But see, we wasn't moving no dope like that. Now, my OG, I call him my OG. He used to, he used to spend the night. You know what I'm saying? We used to be on the trampoline. That was my dog. But we just went to different paths. And, he went into moving some of that work. So he used to like, old boy used to be like, hey, that nigga used to have that bread. I remember one time he ended up fighting a nigga that was older than us. Like they said, like I wasn't there, but they said he put up a good fight though. But the older dude whooped on him. But he put up a good fight, and after that, that's when niggas started respecting him because he ain't back down from the older dude. They said he whooped on him, but shit, he got in the game after that. You know what I mean? Like he was really moving this shit. Like I would see him out and about when we, you know what I'm saying, you go out into the city. I would see him and shit, but I was always cool with the nigga. Nigga used to come hang out at the crib. Like that was my dog. He just had elevated. Like the nigga was big time. And then one of the dudes that I used to hoot with, we all played on the same team. Me and the dude I'm telling y'all is my OG, even though he was just a year older than me, we played on the team with a guy that was a year older than us. So he was 2 years older than me, 1 year older than my OG. But yeah, he ended up getting killed. He ended up getting killed, yeah, because he was into it with some niggas. So it was like a lot of niggas that we was around that ended up getting killed over some like dumb shit when you really look at it as an adult. But like us, we were just going body. We wasn't going body with nobody else but like the niggas that was in our class. So all of us, we was always cool. Like after you go body, if you lose, you just lose. Yeah, Mozzie, it elevated. Like The OG, you know what I'm saying? My dog, like he legit, like I think he's 7 months older than me. We used to call that nigga OG because that nigga was stronger than all of us. That nigga, like real talk, man. That nigga dad got out of jail. That nigga had him lifting weights without we in middle school. This nigga was like seventh, eighth grade. This nigga was hitting the bench every single. We didn't know nothing about no weights. This nigga had a goddamn cannon on his arm. Man, if you didn't fight, that nigga hit you in your arm one time with his knuckle, give you that goddamn frog. Oh man, you might as well go do the fighting because that shit gonna be there for like 3 days. So like, man, you didn't have no choice but to fight. But yeah, he ended up elevating that nigga. He was getting, hey, he's getting real money. Like he was taking care of his mom and his sister. Like that nigga was getting money. I'm not talking about like no play. That nigga was getting bread. I'm talking about at least 15, 20 a month. Like the nigga was getting bread. And this is back in 2000. This is like 2002, 2003. This nigga was getting like 15, 20 a month. This nigga was getting bread. Like that was like I got a picture in my email of him with my parents. Like I had went on and did what I had to do in life, but he got a picture with my parents because he seen them out one time at the grocery store. And he was always cool. Like that was my nigga. That was my nigga. He just went on to bigger and better things as far as like the streets are concerned. I got a picture of him because my mom sent it to me. I was in Germany. She was like, "Yeah, here go your friend." But yeah, he's like, shit. But we know Kanan ends up going into school, and Raquel sets him up. Now we talking about the police. We're talking about Kanan getting expelled from school. Now we've already discussed what happened with me in school, but prior to that, we see him talking to Jukebox. And remember, Jukebox had joined the group, and I asked a question earlier. It was one of the easy questions. What is free when you're hungry? What is free when you're hungry? I asked a couple of easy questions earlier, but no one really paid any attention to it. I'm just seeing what Mozzie talking about. She talking about the fight was like the Matrix. No, it wasn't like the Matrix. Let me tell you, wasn't shit in slow motion. When that nigga Steven applied that motherfucking combo, oh brother. When I tell you that's probably like the fastest shit I ever seen. This nigga Steven was a little heavy set. This nigga Steven, hey, I didn't ride they bus, but I used to always go over to their neighborhood because they were the closest ones to where I was at. So all my homeboys lived over there. They said this nigga Steven whooped somebody ass on the bus on the way home. Nigga, they had to call the police. The bus driver couldn't break that shit up. That nigga Steven whooped ass. So Jason was probably the strongest, but Steven was right after Jason. Like Steven, for some, he was heavy set, so he just had that power. Now Jason was definitely the strongest. You know what I'm saying? OG. I already gave y'all his name. We ain't gonna say no last name. But yeah, OG was the goddamn strongest. But that nigga Steven was different. That nigga Steven whooped the nigga ass. He whooped the older dude's ass on the bus. I'm talking about like we freshmen to sophomore. We were doing this shit in eighth grade, going into ninth grade. This nigga Steven was like a sophomore. This nigga whooped on this senior. Oh, it was bad, dog. Steven couldn't ride the bus. They said, hey, when they told me that story, I was like, damn. But I could believe it because this nigga Steven whooped my ass in the ninth grade. So Steven whooped me in the ninth grade, and I thought I was top shit. This nigga, we sophomores, this nigga whooped on the senior, and the senior wasn't no joke. He whooped on him. I said, yeah, I believe that. That nigga Steven was strong as a motherfucker. That's the only nigga I lost to. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I missed that shit, bro. But Kanan ends up talking to Jukebox. Now, the question I'm asking you, what is free when you're hungry? If you don't know that question, I'll go ahead and answer it for you because we got a couple of questions that we put out there that we haven't really got an answer for. Nah, the only difference between me and Neo getting our ass whooped, that nigga had me against the goddamn stall, like the commode where you piss at. That's the only difference between me and Neo. Neo was against a wall. This nigga had me in between the goddamn the stalls, the urinals. Like that nigga was pow pow pow. Nigga, I was in between that motherfucker trying to ball up. That nigga was whooping my ass. Pow, pow. The hood said water. Nah, it ain't water. It's got to be on the screen, man. What is free when you're hungry? Well, I'll go ahead and answer that for y'all. Free delivery. Free delivery. When you're hungry, it's free delivery. 718-555-0197. Come on, y'all. That was easy right there. Free delivery. Yeah, hey, shock. For real, for real. Like, you know me, I'm never going, I don't, I've never been one to be ashamed of what goes on in life. Like if I get my ass whooped, I get my ass whooped. I'm not gonna be no lying ass nigga and say, "Oh yeah, I won that." Like I'm undefeated. No, hell no. I used to get my ass whooped, man. But Kanan ends up taking Jukebox out. And this is after he gets set up by his mama prior to her actually putting it in the bag. And then he goes and tells Juke. So we get to see them being a little bit of human. You know what I mean? They're humanized here. And he's telling her, you know, I love you. She loves him. Buy what you got to get. So it's all cool that we get to actually see this. It's like, all right, cool. The bond is crazy. I shout out to MovieBot because MovieBot said on Instagram. I mean, I think not Instagram, Twitter. But he was saying it's crazy how they're setting this up and showing how close that Kanan and Jukebox is when we know how the outcome is going to be and Kanan is going to actually kill Jukebox. That is kind of crazy how we see this play out. And that's why I say that Raising Kanan is probably one of my favorite spinoffs, and I put it at the top because we know what the outcome is. It that not is it, but we know what the outcome of it is. We don't necessarily know what the hell is going to happen with Ghost. We don't know if Tariq is going to get out and be legit. Is he going to get with his family? Same for Kanan. I mean, not Kanan, but Tommy and Forrest. We don't know what Tommy's end goal is. Tommy's like 40 years old. I told y'all I don't want to be on here past 2025 because for me, I'll be 40 years old. So I'm like, man, you know, that might be the end of me on YouTube. So I'm trying to make the best of it now. But it's crazy to see these two and how their relationship is, knowing that eventually Kanan is going to turn on Jukebox. So that means Jukebox has to do something that's going to negatively affect Kanan in one of these episodes. Maybe not this season, but maybe next season, or it's going to be Kanan, and that's what sucks. That's what sucks, knowing that we already seen the outcome. Now we see Kanan ended up getting jammed up because we know Raquel put the gun in the bag. Now when he gets up here, he's telling them, I don't know whose gun it is. And when they go in to talk to Dr. West, Kanan is saying, "Hey, I didn't do this. Please trust me, mom. Please trust me." She like, "Nah, I can't believe anything that you're saying, Kanan, because you lied." Now, when we finish this up on Kanan's story, Raquel ain't believing him because she knows the truth that she set him up. Now, when Detective Howard comes over, his pops comes over, we see that Kanan is in the window and Kanan is actually watching. Now, do you guys believe that Kanan actually heard what was said, or he just piecing it together, knowing that his mom is talking to his dad about him getting suspended? Do you believe that Kanan knows what's going on? Or are we saying Kanan don't really have an idea what the hell's going on? He just sees his mom talking to Howard. Kendall said, Bo. The hood said his mom said a curse on him. Damn. Damn, Kanan. I don't think he knows, Miss Cheryl. See, I don't know, man, but I think you can pretty much figure it out because Kanan